Hi and welcome to How to Use CAD. I'm Tom Norris, and for today's tutorial I'm going to show you the quickest way to create doors for your projects. So stay with me, let's see if we can show you some smart moves to help you to reduce the time it would normally take you to draw your doors in CAD. Okay, as you can see, we're up and running already. I've prepared 7 doors for us to work on. These are 7 of the most common doors in common use, I suppose, especially in the UK, but I know they're available in lots of other countries as well. All the doors are a standard metric size, and I think we're going to start with the simplest one. So maybe you use parallel lines, maybe you use rectangles. I don't know what you use, but let's try making the first door with using the rectangle tool. So tab 1980, tab 762. So there you go, you have the basic frame. Yeah, very impressive, Tom. You've turned it upside down. Okay, now from here, these door panels are usually about, well, it depends. If they're double glazing, they're usually a bit narrow, but if they're on timber, they're usually about 100. So let's see if we can do 100 on them. So we go tab -1. I'm using the parallel line tool, tab 1, and we're doing 100 -1. Now the bottom bar tends to be a bit taller, so we're going to use 150 on that. 150. So now how are we going to do? How are we going to do this? How would you normally do this? Because I can do it about 10 different ways. Today I'm going to use my meet 2 lines, and we're going to take a very simple way of doing it. Be the quickest doors you'll have made, I suppose. Maybe you're all experts and now you're just tuning in to see if I'm making a fool of myself here. Right, so there you go, standard door. Very simple. So what about the next one? Well, to do the next one, what I would normally do is take the standard one, make a copy, and put a few lines across it. So again, there's no hard and fast rule. It's snapping to the middle, so let me just turn off snaps for a moment. And yeah, what I was saying was there's no hard and fast rule about the size here, as in the width here, because it varies. It looks a little bit wide, so I'm going to up it just a little. And then when it comes to the height, you could practically go up or down. So suit yourself design wise, yeah. Right, now to clean up the edges, I would generally use the shrink tool. So I would, so that was the single, but I can also use the multi-line shrink tool, which is, and then, so as you can see, I'm using as many tools as possible to achieve my my goal here. Again, these don't look accurate, so we're going to go again. Yeah, they're not accurate. So, for the sake of the perfectionists that are out there, let's get it right. Oh, I'll tell you why. It's because snaps was turned off. That's why I'm having so much trouble. Okay, well, you can tell this is, you can tell it's live, that's for sure, because I don't edit out the mistakes, because I think when you're doing drawing, we all make mistakes. Every couple of moments we make mistakes, and it's like 3 steps forward, 1 step back. Make sure they're all okay. Yeah, they're all okay. So now you've got a 2-panel door. So again, now if I was making this particular 4-panel door, I guess I would do something like that. A copy again, and let's draw a line down the middle. Now the center panel, well, we've already agreed, the outer panel is about 100, but the center panel is generally a little bit more than that. It's about 125, 150. So let's do one that's 150, which means if I use the parallel tool and go minus 75, tab 75, then I can't really go wrong. Tab minus 75, tab 75. Now, I'm losing these two. Right, so now how would you do the split? So many different ways of doing it. You could do it this way, and then just run a little short line for the other one. We could use the line length tool, take it to there, then we can use, so there's no right way or wrong way. What I say is experiment, and eventually you'll find a way that's going to be routine for you. You can see I'm taking tools from my right click, which I use a lot, rather than having to go all the way to the left or over here on snap modes, over here on the tool palette. Either way, it's just a matter of preferences here, and the aim is to show you that you do have choice. Right now we got a 4-panel door. Again, what about this one with the sloping top? I've forgotten what it's called, but again, it's reasonably popular. So how would I make that one? Well, instead of starting from scratch, as you can see, got a door here, so let's bring it down. Let's curve this down. So use the parallel. Where are we going? Tab minus 100. That's a bit too much, isn't it? So let's go back on that, and we go tab minus 50. No, thank you very much. Tab minus 50. Tab minus 50. No. Yeah, that's fine. So we can get rid of the top lines. Bring that one down. Get rid of this one and that one, and yes, you've got it. Yeah. So as you can see, once you've got the basic standard door done, you see how easy it is to morph it into a 2-panel or a 4-panel or a 4-panel with edges and so on. Right, next door up. I made the doors a little bit more complicated than normal, and there's again, you already know how to do these panels, so it's just a question of doing the top bits. So let's see what we would do. So if I put back ortho, so I'm going to use the door on the side here to give us a bit of, actually that's not right. Tend to overshoot, that way you know you're getting you're gonna have better lines. Right, so let's use the multi-shrink. and we can do the same here, I think. Yeah, I like this. This one I will use the line length. I didn't know about that. I was just looking and I'm thinking that's actually quite wrong what I've done. But I was looking, and let's just go back and wind back a bit on that. Yeah, I was looking and I didn't realize that some of the tools, which are great, all of them are great by the way, but some of the tools, you can only use them once and then you have to reselect again. And that to me is an absolute nuisance. Sometimes, and then other times it's an absolute blessing. But it's almost like you could have two versions of each tool. You have the one that you can use a few times, or the one you can use just once. Right, so I've made my life difficult here, but again it's absolutely clear that it's live. Right, so again let's just do it this way. You'll be leaving me messages to say, oh Tom, that's not how you do it, this is what we do, etc, etc. I'm probably aware, it's just that sometimes you're feeling lazy or you want to do something in a different way. And you think, so it depends on the mood as well, yeah. And this morning, anything can happen. Right, we were looking at doing a little semicircle on the top here. So let me try that. Let me just bring up a semicircle. Let me check the width of this, 191. So if I do a 191, 91, tab 191, semicircle, I'd be doing fine, wouldn't I? And let's pop it in here. Perfect. And to be honest, I actually don't need to do this one, but so I only need to do one, and you'll see why in a moment. Now, anybody know what that line is for? Well, let me show you. Let's do object trim. And to do that, I will modify. Nah, that wasn't rocket science, was it? Now, this looks fine, and that gets the job done. And as I say, to do this one, all I really need to do is, well, I can do it this way. Get rid of that. And Control C. Yeah, so if you've got circles and eclipses and stuff to do, you don't need to keep making a whole new loads of them. You just want to make one and then you can copy and paste over. So as you can see, we're getting through these damn doors, right? So for this particular one, I would say that we actually just copy this one in. And the idea here is that when you get a little bit of time on your hands, what you do is create a small CAD library of your own doors, the most doors. So like for example, this is a CAD library here for me. And if I was doing a drawing, and I needed a side door or a front door, I just go here and pick up destroying, and then I'll take my door, copy and paste, and that's all I need to do. I don't need to be creating the same door over and over. So these are the most common doors, and if you start to find there's another one that you're using, or French doors for example, so make up a library for yourself. You can use the CAD blocks if you want of doors, and then throw out the ones you're never going to use, and condense it down to the doors that are, you know, in vogue or in fashion. So here we are. What I've done here on the top one is I've done a radius on the top and bottom on this one, and here I did chamfer. So I wanted to make sure you know how to do that. So as you can see, I've changed the bottom here. That's simple enough, isn't it? So right, so if I now go for, let's go for a fillet on the bottom, and we can change the radius. The radius tool, you set the amount down here, which is probably enough, and give it a nice little curve. If you're doing a panel door, sometimes you're going to get the curves. So it's very simple to apply. Change the size of the fillet, and you get a different look. Theoretically, I could have done that when I was doing this one, but I wanted to show you other ways of doing the same thing. Yeah, so let's change the fillet again. This time we do 30. Thank you. Okay, so you've seen me do, not exactly like so, but you've seen me do. Oh yeah, I see the problem. I've done all fillets, and I needed to show you chamfer as well. So let's make another door. Let's make another standard door, and we use the chamfer tool. Now, incidentally, I keep the modify tools on my drop down here. So as you can see, I keep them here because these are tools that you're using over and over and over. So the three lots I keep is the line tool, the modify, and the select. That's what I keep. And if you don't know how to put those tools there, you right click on the space here, go to pop-up toolbars, and just select the ones you want to use. So I've got line, modify, and select. And that's what I use, generally speaking. Right, so I'm going to show you chamfer on this one. Again, it's not rocket science. So the chamfer, you can do it in three different ways. So we're going to do distance and distance. In other words, select it here, and I'm going to do 50 mil and 50 mil. And you'll see how that works very soon. So that's your chamfer. Now if I change the numbers, then the chamfer will change as well. So let's just do 25, 25, and we do chamfer. So you just got to just pick your line. So as you can see, a smaller chamfer, a larger chamfer. Do an uneven one, and you've got that. So you're getting the idea. Of course you are. That's your chamfer tools. Right, so up here we got pattern 21 door, very simple to make. Let's see. Pattern 21 been around quite a while. Usually, other people, they're usually used internally more so than externally, but occasionally they're used as a back door. Other people refer to them as Georgian. So, so generally it's pattern 21, which means it's three rows across and 7 rows up. So what I tend to do, just for speed, is I have a look at the measurement there, which is 562. 2 divided by 3, and it's 187. So I just go ahead and do it this way. Tab minus 187. tab -187. Now again, there's various ways of doing this, and copy and paste, etc. But I'm going to use the parallel tool. But all I need to do is have a look at the measurement here. It says 1730, and I need to divide it by how many times? It's 7, so 6 lines. 6 equals 288. So now, parallel tool, tab 288, tab 288, tab 288. I generally don't bother thickening it up or doing double lines here, because it's basically you're communicating a design, tab 288. And this idea, unless you were doing something for conservation where you really do have to do a detailed section of a window, but normally I'd only do the single line, and of course you could thicken them up here if you wanted to. Right, so now you got pattern 71 or pattern 21. 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually has pattern 18. That's fun. Well, it's going to leave it because this one I actually did correctly. That was 21. But you got the gist and you got the idea for doing it. So as you can see, none of this is rocket science. So when it comes to, you know, giving them a bit of glamour or giving your doors, pushing them up, as they say, if you want to do that, then I can use my fill. I can use a fill tool. So the fill tool, I could go like so, for example, and that's a rectangle. But before I do that, let me go over here, and now I select that should do it. No. And now we got glass panels. So let's see how we work here. So simple, it's on true. So if you do an elevation or a few elevations on a drawing, nothing looks better than to throw a bit of glass in. If you've got solid down here, you can change the fill to something else. Change it to you know, a grey. Emphasize that it's different. And this is quite interesting because I can do a fill here, but obviously, as you can see, there's a problem. So how do we get around that? Well, I would turn this into a polygon. Now, loads of different ways I can do that. I can turn it into a polygon by joining the lines and so on, but here's a pretty simple way of doing it. Let me take off ortho. And then I just close. Let me put this back to glass. There you go. Good, we're getting through them. This one, again, no problem. What I would say to you is that some of the tools, so for example, I'll give you an example here. The radius tools tend to work quite well, and that you don't have to join the bits together to actually fill it, but some of the other bits you do, and I'll give you an example here. So just change that over. Right, here we have the radius tools, or the fillet, and if you can see that these are actually ready to go. So if you do a radius, there we go. Let's do pink on here so we can see we're actually live and no cheating going on. Back to blue. Now, chamfer. Chamfer is a different ball game. You click and you're getting one entity, so you're going to have to join again. So to do that, we go to join by polyline, and let's go around, join these elements. That's it, and then right click, finish. Now you have effectively a polygon, so you can actually fill it. Okay, so if we change the color and we go back to blue, here we go. So I'm going to do this one again, just so you've got the idea. As I say, it's a chamfer, so the elements are all separate, so you're going to join them. So if you want to fill it, you go to join polyline, when they're all colored in, right click, finish. And now, as you can see, you've got it's all glued up together and ready for filling. Okay, these are the same. We didn't do, but basically these, you could use radius, or you can use anything you want to join these and make them work. Right, on pattern 21. Oh, incidentally, again, let's see if I've forgotten now if I still got the yeah, I need to change the color. Go for a light blue. So just so you know the game. So the only reason we do all the joining and so on is so that we can get the shape. But on squares and rectangles, we don't need to join the bits to make it work. So nearly there. Right, I think you should have the idea by now. The most standard kind of UK doors, and as I say, create a library if you can, and that would be a real time saver then for every drawing. And we use what I call a loaded template, which means if I know I'm doing layouts, I actually open up a template where it's got the likes of this on the side. It's got a whole range of things. For example, if I'm doing layouts on a house, then when I open the template, it's called a loaded template. It'll have doors going left and right. It'll have bathroom fittings, the standard tub, sink, loo. So in other words, you create a template and have all the CAD block fittings that you would normally use in an average drawing. So it saves you going back out and in and out. And as I say, if you're doing elevations, the elevation template, then you have a selection of doors and maybe a few windows. To find out about windows, you're going to have to watch another tutorial, something similar to this one. I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you've picked up on a few bits and pieces, and you'll now be able to create doors in your drawings and plans quicker than before. I do hope the tutorial is of value, and I'd appreciate any comments. Just leave a comment or two. Maybe you can show me something that you can do quicker or better. By all means, leave a comment or so. Yeah, great. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.